Have you tried drawing something in perspective and you got something like this? You're not alone. At some point, you get the idea and your drawings start making sense and looking pretty much like this. The thing is that normally this kind of perspective is very limiting. It works perfectly for architectural drawings or pictures where everything aligns perfectly, or in pictures in which you have a continuous repetition of the same kind of objects, getting smaller in the distance. And of course, it is great if everything is squared. But most scenes or even objects don't go with these rules. Very often, things are not conveniently pointing to us, or they are perfectly placed on the ground, aligned with the walls. Of course, perspective gives us order and gives us reference points to understand our reality, so it is always something to keep in mind. But even when we keep it in mind, and it is very useful, we need to keep it only as a guide. We use this guide to give structure to our picture, to make sure everything aligns. But once our structure is done, you should be able to draw freely on top of it. One object that shows the advantages and limitations of perspective is cars. You can think of a car as a rectangular prism. Even the position of the wheels form a rectangle. But very rarely a car is rectangular. There are normally lots of rounded and complex shapes everywhere that cannot be completely solved with just perspective. This car is a Morgan Super 3. It is a 3-wheeled British car. But even this car can be put inside a rectangular base and in a rectangular prism. Next is the wheels. We can put a round object inside a square. In fact, a circle fits perfectly inside a square. Just make sure the circle touches all 4 sides, even when that is not so easy to do. For that reason, the wheels start as a 2-dimensional square that should align with the other one. Inside it, just make sure your circle in perspective, which is no more than an oval, touches all sides of that square. Then draw the front and the sides of the car. This is mostly the perspective guide I will use. Everything else is related to this guide. But now I will use my observation skills and instinct to continue with the drawing. To make some of the rounded shapes, I will use some lines from the guides and I will round the corners. Now I follow mainly the perspective lines, but also the rounded guides that get created as I work. It is important to understand how the perspective helps you in the process, knowing that you don't need to make everything squared to make it work. Remember, perspective is just a guide. Use it, but don't take it too seriously. We're artists, not engineers. Now I will leave you with the rest of the painting process. Enjoy! See you in the next video. Adios!